Nice. Welcome everybody back to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans, right here on the YouTube, the Twitch, and wherever you get your podcasts worldwide. I'm here with the one and only Bone Man himself, J Bone, in the house to go a little bit over some against all odds from last night.
Hell yeah! How you doing? You're in Arizona, right?
Arizona.
See, now I was trying to figure out like time zone wise, like how far you were away, and I figured looking at like maps and stuff, I thought you were like it was like one time zone over, but I feel like you're two time zones over.
Yeah, because normally I'm on the Eastern time, which I started out yesterday at, and now we're on Western time, and you're on Central time. So yeah, we're all the way over. The full 3 hours from me. Normally we're just an hour apart.
Right. So I was completely confused. I'm like, wait, what?
So yeah, that tends to happen. And I know the last couple times TNA was on the West Coast, they were solo reviews with myself. And I thought about it last night. That was the plan.
Yeah.
A solo review in the wee hours. But after that day of travel, I let the Bone Man know it's like, hey, a little you free tomorrow? Because it would have been a quick 30-minute and out after the show last night review. Because I was dragging by that point.
Yeah, and that's okay. It's
a little better today. I always like doing it with someone else and not too far down the road. If you say you were working both days, then I would have just done it. But no, it's good to have, and I see a lot of the crew here, so I'm glad everyone could make it. Almost a little bit of a countdown show for maybe some other show that might be starting in about an hour or so.
There you go.
The tapings here. That will continue the road to Slammiversary in Arizona. So we'll have to see. We already know one of the matches features something that we just saw on the cover there, because there is some news, J-Bone. I don't know if you want to hit it as we go through the show or if you want to just hit it right now because it's on the cover. Spoiler alert. We had some last night.
We can talk about it because we'll cover this, and then I'm gonna kind of like most of you guys are used to me leading the show. I only saw like half the show last night because I got home from work last night and I tried like hell to stay awake to watch a majority of it. And I'm glad we decided to do it today because I was like, I wouldn't have been much. I mean, I'm not going to be a ton of help today, anyways. But either way. At least we're both a little more awake. So yeah, and
that is something because obviously for the East Coasters, like last night's show ended at what 12:30, 12:40. So then, like for late. You, close to midnight. Not bad for West Coasters, and I know every time we have these discussions, people really only care about their own time zones for the most part. So. I know some people probably were not happy with the start time because we've gone over this whole gate crowd and things like that.
That happens. That happens all the time with my dad watches. He's an avid Brewers fan, so whenever the Brewers play on the West Coast in California or anywhere over there. The game doesn't start here until like 9 o'clock at night. My dad doesn't go to bed much after that. So there's
some late nights.
I lucked out last night. I only had to work till like 9 o'clock ish. Got home a little bit after that. So I only missed like the first couple matches,
okay,
in getting the show going. I didn't watch the pre-show obviously, but yeah, let's talk about the knockouts. Holy cow, Bill.
We've had a reset of the knockouts.
Seriously, we talk about this a lot. We hear it all the time from the audience. Oh, the knockouts need a refresh. They need a jump start. They need whatever. They need more knockouts. Period. Well, I had no clue. Like, I had a feeling we might get a Killer Kelly back or someone like that, or like a Havoc or something like that. I really didn't know. I didn't know what the buzz was out there. I really haven't been up on the inside news lately on Impact, just little things here and there. But I was pleasantly surprised to see Inspiration come back. And Bill, they're blonde. Look at that. They are blondes now.
It's been 3 years, J-Bo.
I'm like, who the hell is that? I'm like, that's not Inspiration, but oh no, it is.
It's the Inspiration. Couple kids later.
The interview that they had later with Gia Miller.
Yes.
So funny. Because they were like, I had a baby, then you had a baby, then I had another baby, and now we're back. It was like,
that's the only reason they were gone.
Right. They wanted and there's nothing wrong with that. These ladies, it's in their careers being professional wrestlers, if you stay healthy, you either want to have kids someday or you don't, and you can't blame these women. It's like their clock is ticking, anytime you get around the 30s or after, having kids, that risk factor with health issues starts to, tick higher. So, yeah. So congrats to them on their children. Yeah, I really didn't know.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about the Inspiration as we go, but the other one on there, like, similar reason, Killer Kelly as well.
Right. Who's
Myron Reed.
That's it. Myron Reed.
The other Rascal.
He is the other Rascal. He is the third Musketeer. He needs.
I guess he's technically the fourth Rascal.
Now
Wesley may or may not be a Rascal these days.
Oh no, we don't talk about him anymore. No,
we don't talk about Wes.
We don't talk. No, we don't talk. Ew. No.
But you know what we do talk about, J-Bone?
Who's that?
We'll talk about Bell's Boy with the $10 super chat.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Hello and welcome back, Killer Kelly and the Inspiration. Wonder why Trey did the no sell last night. Arizona doesn't recognize daylight savings time. Fellas, have a good day. Bell's Boy, we thank you.
Oh, is that also why the time was off? Like,
yeah, no, I know there's been a lot of hubbub in the States last year talking about like getting rid of daylight savings time. The whole, concept of it. I have a feeling it's going to be maybe like that, where certain states recognize it and other ones don't, which, that could just make for fun.
Oh, absolutely.
The areas and the time zone changes while you're in it.
Like, you gotta remake that map. It's like, I wish we would all get rid of that, because it never made sense to me, but whatever.
Yeah, it was all for the farmers way back, but yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah, you're like, you get an extra hour of daylight. What?
What?
The sun didn't move. What? Is
it a wrestling show? What?
Yeah, right. But yeah, Killer Kelly coming back and surprising Masha at the end of her match. Which, by the way, that match with Lei Ying Lee, amazing. I'm just gonna say this now. My two favorite matches, actually, I got three. It's kind of a tie. It's hard to say. But Ali and Hodge, that blew me away. I was so happy that Jason Hotch, granted he lost, but he had an amazing match.
I look good. I told him as he was coming out, it's about time. I've been calling this the whole time he's been there.
Oh my God.
I'm going to break you out.
So good to
Finally
see.
Happened.
And granted, there's been some controversy with it, and we've talked about that with Tasha Steelz, and and Leisha's been on the show, and we've given our opinions on that. So yeah, it's I don't think that Order 4 is going to be for much longer. Now,
maybe not. It seems like there's definitely some frailing. They seem to be falling apart. I don't know. Like, well, last night during the show, we know that, and we'll get over it. That Tasha contacted somebody. I don't know.
Yeah,
we didn't get a reveal last night on who that was, to my knowledge, unless that happened on TV and I didn't see it.
It was
this Thursday.
Any guess on who that is? Because
someone with a connection to Ali. For a second, I thought it might be Santana, but he seems busy with everything else going on. Because that's what it seemed like. It seemed like Tasha. Now, I was thinking maybe from Tasha's own history. So I was thinking maybe because with Trick in here, but now Carmelo's on the main roster, but she was in a stable with Carmelo on the Indies in the past. So I was like, oh, maybe something there, but I don't know. I don't know. I know there's been a lot of rumblings out there. And this might be right, Denzel Vance here. I think it's Cedric Alexander. There's a lot of rumblings about Cedric Alexander coming to TNA.
Well, he's got a brand new, and this happened.
Yeah, everybody in the chat is saying it's Cedric Alexander.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting that you say that, because I was going through my Spotify playlist that drops. It's like a new playlist for new releases that drops every Friday. And give me 2 seconds here.
And I assume everyone's putting that together. Now, honestly, J-Bone, you might know better than me. I'm sure the chat might know better. I know they were both 205 Live guys, Ali and Cedric, for a while. So I'm sure they've had matches and stuff. I don't know if they were ever linked in, other than maybe having some matches. But that's a connection. Definitely Tasha could. I wasn't sure if Tasha has a connection, because I'd have to be back on the Indies, like Ring of Honor Cedric era. But
yeah, I'm not sure. But there is, who the hell is this? It's someone just made brand new Cedric Alexander music. And I found it, and now I lost it. But it's in my list somewhere, and I'm scrolling, and now I can't find it. But I listened to it, and it sounds pretty dope. So yeah, and that's the thing. When you follow certain bands or certain DJs or certain music producers, and they're the ones that regularly make music for wrestlers, Here it is. Wrestle and Flow. It's called Pain and Gold. So if you follow Wrestle and Flow on Spotify, it's a brand new music that just dropped within the last couple days. It's called Pain and Gold. Go check it out. And that's the same way I found out that Indy Hartwell was going to be starting somewhere, because she's got music through the same. Oh, now I can't think of. Damn it! Bone Man's having a rough head day. It's the same. It's the it's the same band that does Cody Rhodes' theme.
Okay. Popular theme.
Those guys, they do Indy Hartwell's new theme. And I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. That means she's going to pop up somewhere because it's fresh. So yeah, that's a good sign. Yeah. And if everyone's saying, oh yeah, he's on his way to TNA, hey, I'm down with it. I've been a Cedric Alexander fan ever since the what the hell was that aired? The Cruiserweight Classic, is that what it was called?
Sounds right. I do remember the Cruiserweight Classic.
I became and then that started the whole 205 thing shortly after that.
Oh, and the Downstain, is that the band?
Downstate. That's it. Yeah, it's with a T at the end. Downstate.
Oh, Downstate.
Thank you,
okay, there you go.
Mr. Rosario. But
oh, and here's everyone. So we'll be interested to see. Let's Bell's Boys talking. I know everybody thinks AEW signing everyone. So would he avoid the Hurt business, because that's what they really are, and go to TNA instead? We'll see.
It could be. I mean, I'd say it's about a 50-50 shot. And there's only so many people that are associated with Ali. So if you think of who's in all other companies already, that tag team that was a part of the tag team was part of that stable that Ali was leading. Mia Yim was in it. And then there was that real tall dude that got let go a year or two ago from NXT. But I think he's been in MLW, but don't quote me on that.
I think he did make an appearance or two.
Yeah,
but that could be a possibility.
I can't think. He used to have matches in the indies all the time with like Keith Lee and kind of a tall, lanky guy, not super muscular.
Okay.
But he, damn it, I can't think of his name.
Oh, here's a.
But he was also in that group with Ali that they all got canned from WWE.
Gotcha.
Well, thank you.
Here with the super chat.
Yeah, that's it. Dijak, yes, and thank you.
Not Dijak, not Donovan Dijak. Or are you saying Dijak? You saying Donovan Dijak?
Yeah, Donovan. Yeah.
Okay. Feast your eyes.
Yeah, that guy. And I like him. I'm like, I want him to show up in TNA. I think he's got a great look. I think he's a badass. And he's I think he's a solid wrestler too. Like, I think TNA needs more big guys, It's like, yeah, bring in some monsters. Hell yeah.
But one last talk, because we did have another one we didn't put on the poster here, but the Hometown Man debuted last night as well.
I heard about that. Yeah,
he's a hometown man.
He must have the same mask maker as Americano.
Mr. America.
Yeah, Grande Americano or whatever.
I think you can order that at Starbucks. A Grande Americano.
Oh God, nice. So,
Hometown Man got great pop for Hometown Man.
He did, and it's funny because it's like, oh, well, he's done. Oh, he's not done. Okay, so
I don't know who you're talking about.
We'll see.
That was an Arizonian. I'm not sure who you were referring to.
So is that the gimmick? Is going to be he's going to change the look every city, new mask?
Maybe. The thing is, it's funny because there's another guy they were playing around with that sort of concept on Explosion, where he was billed from that city. St. Joseph's. Then he kind of moved on to other towns. There you go, Barry Monkey. TNA need to sign Hometown Man.
Sign Hometown Man.
Hometown Man is over.
That's funny. That is funny. Yeah, I saw part of a clip of that last night. Like I said, I didn't see every single match last night, but I saw a significant amount of it. So, yeah. So, what do you want to? I know we're kind of jumping all over here. What do you want to hit next?
Well, we'll go over, since we covered most of the news. We'll head on to the countdown, and I know you said you didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
So we'll go quickly over the old countdown show. Leads off with the Iceman in the ring to introduce us to the Elegance brand of, obviously, Ash, Heather, and M. Against the united front from overseas of Zaya Brookside, and who we've seen in tag action recently, Myla Grace and Harley Hudson. Obviously, once again, the Elegance brand came ready to embrace the local crowd. Obviously, they're playing at Arizona State, the Sun Devils. What do they come out as? A bunch of Sun Devils. They come out as devils. They got the pitchforks, which later came into play because the Iceman got involved with that pitchfork, helping result in the Elegance brand win. But that was also the way to introduce the return of the inspiration.
That's summon again.
Did you get inspired, J-Bone? Get inspired.
I did. I'm getting expired now. We're just seeing a bunch of navels below us here.
That J-Bone, he's all about the navels.
It's belly button Saturday, folks. But yeah, it's I'm excited to see Inspiration back. We got a nice amount of new knockouts on the roster, and some tag teams to boot too. I mean, I was kind of surprised they threw Harley Hudson and Myla Grace together so fast. But if they're used to tagging together like on the indies from in their country, then
I think they've worked together. I wouldn't necessarily say they've been a team. It seems like they've worked together. Obviously, they know each other. But I think this was the way, as singles acts, they wouldn't get on TV that much to start. Yeah. With the Knockouts division, especially with Spitfire being broken up, I think that now gives them an opportunity to be on TV, and that's the key. They get on TV to establish yourself. So,
and there's a lot of free agents out there. We didn't get the ones I thought we were gonna show up, but there's still time. There's options out there, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Also reminiscent of Oops, I Did It Again with Brittany, right, Antonio? And they did come out, but it was a modified video of their previous TNA video because Harley Cameron was edited out of it, because she was actually in the video of their entrance last time. So they just removed her, but she did the song for them. But that was her first big foray into wrestling. Was she did the theme song.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
But that's how we kicked off. We get the Inspiration's return after that win. Then we get Ali backstage saying Natasha has to stand in his corner against Jason Hotch tonight. And that's where she gets on the phone with somebody yet to be revealed. We get Steph DeLander comes out to commentary while Tom Hannafin and Matt Raywald are running down the card. And that Mance is going to take that international title from Maclin, as that's going to be opening the main show. Then we get Santino Marella, who tonight is fighting for the chance to remain the director of authority. If he loses to Robert Stone will be. But this is where we get a kind of a surprise, J-Bone. We weren't expecting this. out comes Matt Cardona, the free agent, and saying because he got screwed by WWE and TNA, nobody else could be more down the middle than him. And he's going to be, he talked to TNA management, and he will be the special referee in this Tino Morella, Robert Stone match. But a lot on the line right there.
It is. And I like the fact that was that on the show Thursday they tried to buy him off.
Yeah, yes. And also that the Cobra will be legal. So
yeah.
Robert Stone not happy with Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard about this situation. But no, it adds some intrigue to that match. So now it's main show time. Starting off international title. Starting hot. Maclin, Mance. Good early back and forth. A lot of outside the ring. Maclin definitely playing into the Arizona crowd. Like going off the apron more than once to get Mance. But Mance put up a fight, but he never really was able to kind of overcome the momentum that Maclin had in this one. And he does get the win. That Steph tried to get involved early. Guy gave him a little bit of advantage, but in the end, Maclin was able to prevail because he's having a strong run here. We've talked about it. Definitely feels like it's going to be a build back to the world title potentially. So we go to Gia Miller, who has the challenger for the world title tonight, Elijah. Just talking about that he's got to bring that title back to TNA. And now this was kind of a surprise, J-Bone, because it was so early on the card. But obviously we didn't have this match even come to be until a few days ago. And this is the System going against the team of the Hardys, as Matt likes to call him, Leon Slater Hardy, and a mystery man. And we found out who that mystery man was, J-Bo. And it was not just any man. It was the hometown man.
The hometown man.
He's a hometown man. There you go, Critical State. Maclin getting over, brother. Our man.
Yeah, that's definitely one match I want to go back and watch. Is that
because it was early. It was early, surprisingly early in the show.
Yeah.
But that was smart. I think that was to kind of get people in early.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to wait too long to give some of the big stuff away. So that was a big one. Now, I think you can kind of see where this is going because, of course, I don't think we've ever had a champion get pinned so many times during their rated multi-man matches. Like where Moose, like in the end, spears Slater, but he gets rolled up for a 3 count. So you're just asking for that rematch of Slater versus Moose for the X Division title. Got to assume, like I've been putting my hopes up that it was going to be that AJ Styles, but maybe AJ Styles comes out after the match, and maybe to put young Leon over. Who knows?
Yeah.
Ask it in the chat. Who is that behind me? That is Killer Kelly, Team Twitch, coming out in force today.
Oh yeah, that is Killer. Here, I'll show the cover.
Killer Kelly.
Yeah, Killer Kelly is on the right, and Inspiration is on the left. Yes.
and I know it's come up earlier in the chat, but I will. I did not start any We Want Truth chants because Truth can't show up anywhere yet. Like, I guess, well, he could show up in WWE still, but he still has a contract. Like, and then there's a, like, once that expires, there then could be a period after that. But these are one of these things where you're not going to see him show up somewhere else for a while.
Right. It's going to be well over 90 days.
History, man. People were definitely doing some logic there. And I guess maybe with the relationship, they were hoping, hey, maybe bypass anything and let him just show up. But that would not be a good public relations thing to just have, like, while they're getting those chants on SmackDown, to have him show up immediately on TNA. But I will say this, may have been a spoiler alert, but as that chant started during this match, Matt Hardy said to the crowd, like, he will be soon. So,
okay,
be a Matt Hardy. Like, not yet, but so I think that could definitely happen.
Yeah, if he's going to go anywhere, I'd like to think it could be TNA. And I'll tell you what, I'll give TNA a lot of credit. They're playing a lot of old clips from the NWA TNA Asylum days when Truth first hit, and he was just all guns blazing, just hot, like freshly fired from WWE, and just wanting to make, pardon the pun, make an impact and just take over the wrestling world. And he had so much charisma and so much ambition. And man, I look at that and I'm like, man, it's a shame we couldn't get a little more of that throughout the years. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the comedy, but man, he was great when he was a badass. He really was.
Oh yeah. No, they had some good stuff back then. And he does have the history here. I think he will be returning here. So the good news is, if that is happening, then it will get a lot of buzz. But I almost wonder, though, because WWE, for whatever you want to say, they are pretty smart on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Will just this initial backlash they've gotten with the truth stuff, which you can understand to a level, but like that they couldn't figure out a way to be like, hey, at this point in your career, limited dates. And I think that's what it is. I think they were negotiating a deal. They just couldn't come to an agreement. So if they could, will the uptick of the fan bases get that, maybe get them to reconsider something, and something comes, like we've seen this happen in TNA before, where someone's gone, but then they don't leave. Could that be the case here? I don't know. I don't think they're going to go super out of their way. But it doesn't feel like anywhere else other than TNA really makes sense for him because of the history.
Yeah.
But that would get a lot of pop. Like that would, like when you're talking Joe Hendry, the Hardys, like obviously Trick Williams showing up now, like Ron the Truth. That would, yeah, that's what Eli's saying. And we saw that here. We saw that in TNA. Like TNA didn't want to get rid of AJ Styles, but they offered him less money. They're like, based on what the condition of the company is right now, we need to change your contract from this to this. And he's like, nah, I'll go in the business for myself. And it worked out great for him. But that's the same thing here with Ron Killings. Like they had him in a spot, but they're like they kind of gave him this run, maybe with the idea of thinking, hey, but in the end it hurt them because now he's like way over on the way out the door. They do that 2 years ago, it probably doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
But something to keep it. But obviously it was going to happen here. But I did see Critical Sting just a little more buzz because, well, we can't downplay how over this guy was. I wanted to hate the mystery partner being Dean Hometown Man, but the crowd made it work. So I will say that the crowd, at first, Hometown Man, they're like, they embraced it as the match went on. I think they probably embraced it even more than Hometown Man was thinking they'd embrace it. So,
yeah, and that helps. That helps. If the crowd's behind you,
helps to hit the like button, follow,
there you
subscribe.
Go, smash it. There you go. Thanks, guys.
Smash. All right. So we go from there. After the big win by Leon Slater over Moose with the Hardys and the Hometown Man. Like I said, definitely lining up for Slammiversary exhibition title match. The legend of Hometown Man. Gotta love it. We get the injury report.
Wait, did you say Leon Slater pinned Moose?
Yeah, that was the ending, J-Bone.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. So that's definitely leading up to the Slammiversary X Division rematch.
Because now they faced off once before, right? A few months ago.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe now's the time.
Could be. The time is now. Joe Hendry's waiting for him still, but let's keep going. All right, as you mentioned earlier, J-Bone, one of your favorite matches, we get the Mustafa Ali versus Jason Hotch match.
Yes,
and this one was a great match here. Had a little bit I'd say a slower build to begin, because you could tell because they were in the same group and all, they weren't taking those punches to the face or anything like that. But they were eventually progressed. You got the chops going. They were starting to hit a little bit more. But then even getting out of pins, you'd have kind of Ali kind of slink his way out of it. But then really where this kind of all came about was a lot near the end, with Ali hitting his finisher, not taking the pin at one point. He could have pinned Hodge. He picks him up, and that gets Skyler going. He's like, hey, he's got a family. He's got kids, J-Bone.
He's got kids.
He's got kids. So then all this, we saw Tasha leave ringside at one point. So as you're saying, the Order 4, they're it's falling apart. It feels like the Order 4, but Ali does get the win. But a lot of questions definitely remain after this one, because it doesn't feel like that solved the problems of Order 4.
Yeah, it's this storyline with Ali is very different than last year's, when he was on fire as an X Division guy. Like whether you hated it or loved him or hated him, he was a great X Division guy. He had a great gimmick, and he did it well, and he had a ton of charisma. He presented everything well, and but this dude, he is a hot mess. He's almost as unhinged as EY is right now.
And EY's unhinged. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, he's unhinged for sure. But we do, after the match, we talked about a little earlier, we get Gia Miller with the Inspiration, who are promising to inspire the Elegance brand. So looking forward to that. One of my favorite segments is back, J-Bone, and that is the First Class Penthouse. First Class.
Oh, boy.
We know. I know I've been one of the few supporters of the First Class. And I know they've been getting themselves into some hot water the last week or so. by showing up at NXT and costing Mike Santana the chance to possibly regain the TNA Championship from Trick NA.
Big time.
But AJ and KC, man, they're firing on all cylinders. And hey, if you have your own talk show segment in wrestling, that's a good sign. That means they think pretty highly of you. So, but definitely, obviously, the guest was scheduled to be Mike Santana. We keep hearing that he's not there. He hasn't showed up. But eventually, he does show up, and it doesn't work out well for KC Navarro because he goes through the old penthouse table that has its own apron now, the first class penthouse. I don't know if they've had its own apron before. Like they've upgraded the penthouse. It's not just like a black just table cover. It's a first class one.
I'm sure. I'm sure the bottles of bubbly are getting more expensive. You know,
the bubbly doesn't pay for itself around here, J-Bone.
Right. That's what you can get when you got that money.
That's right, J-Bone. See, we're going to turn you onto the side of first class, J-Bone.
I do find it interesting that they were the ones that screwed over Mike Santana when he was going after the title on NXT this week. And then Elijah was in the audience. And then and they make Mike Santana a guest, which is just a riot. It's like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're just setting yourself up.
He can't be happy.
I'm like, yeah, right. Yeah. Like, oh, thank you for just, increasing the views of NXT and making more people watch me lose. Thanks. That's about all you can really thank him for.
Pretty much.
But yeah, I was shocked. I was like, wow. And that made some wrestling news headlines. The fact that AJ Francis.
Oh, they were talking about it. The views, J-Bo. The views.
Formerly of, it's anytime you've got someone like that, you got someone formerly of WWE returning, people, that's a head turner. They go, oh, what? What's going on? They put their ears out. They check that shit out. They do.
And Trick's playing this an interesting way because, like last night, he refers to him as Top Dollar. He's like, "Thanks for the help, Top Dollar." Like, so he's just like remember when we had Ash, like the Ash Dana Brooke. Like it's like they will. It makes it interesting. Some of these lines that get crossed when you are partnering with the promotion, with the history. But still, even though he goes by his name AJ Francis, there's still enough of the dollar involved in it. So but we move on to J-Bone because J-Bone had a nice little back to back here because I think his two favorite matches happened back to back because we got the Knockouts title match next.
Yeah, I was excited for this one. Like I had no qualms about whether Masha was going to keep the title or lose the title to Lei Ying Lee. I just was hoping for like a really good match, and this was good. This was really good.
Yeah, and first we get Indy Hartwell on commentary before the match. Then when Lei Ying comes out, like with her look with the braids and all, like I'm like, oh, they're like a different look than normal. Is that the I'm gonna win the title look, which sometimes you get, which would have been a real surprise because I would not have expected that. But they definitely push how dominant Masha's been in this title reign, and then obviously you had her former MK Ultra tag partner. And Killer Kelly come out afterwards. So that's making it interesting. are we going, because that Indy was on commentary, but it's very quick to put Indy right into a title match. So, but they kind of are pushing that a little bit in there. So is it going to be maybe a multi-woman match at Slammiversary? Like, will it be Masha versus Kelly one-on-one? Will it be a three-way? Could it even more get involved? Well, we'll have to see how this all plays out. Because that Indy was there, like, that could just be her lurking. But I feel like there's still even untold stuff with Tessa still right now. So I feel like the Knockouts division, which I know a lot of the TNI fans have been a little nervous or worried about lately, it definitely has a lot more names and potential candidates in both now the tag division and the upper card for the title. So,
yeah.
But great match for Lee and Slamovich. But it feels like as they put more on Lee's plate, she's come up and taken that task of like putting her with these more established members of the roster are just improved at both ways.
Yeah.
So we go backstage, and this is interesting. We see Mike Santana refusing to be treated by the doctor, the TNA ringside doctor, and he's saying cleared. He's not cleared. So I just wonder if that would be their way of just keeping Santana off TV or like in ring action. I guess all the way to Slammiversary, that could be the way they're playing that. But yeah, it seems like he's not going to be in action anytime soon.
Yeah.
So now we get the former champion, Joe Hendry, against the so-called king of TNA, Frankie Kazarian. And J-Bone, the shock of the night, maybe one of the biggest shocks of this year in TNA wrestling. Not that Frankie Kazarian actually wins a match. That's so much shocking. He beats Joe Hendry, J-Bone.
He did. He did.
I wouldn't say he cleanly beat him because he used the ropes.
No, and that's the kind of frustrating part is he beat him with his feet on the ropes, and honestly, he had Joe Hendry beat down so bad he didn't have to, But that's Kaz. What are you gonna do,
Kaz can't help himself. That's what he does. He's a son of a gun.
The son of a gun. So, and as much as I still like Joe Hendry, part of me was happy to see Kaz win because I feel like Kaz is, a few times when I wanted Kaz to win or thought he might win, he didn't, and he actually won this time. So
he did win this time when there wasn't as much on the line, no title or anything.
Yeah.
But that does give him some say in beating the previous champion as now having the stake potentially at a future title chance against Trick or whoever the title holder is.
It bumps him up, I tell you what, I would love to see Kaz versus Trick Williams. I would absolutely, because
they didn't get along when they tagged together. So he has some beef with him.
Yeah, and it would make, honestly, in my professional podcasting opinion, I think as much as we talk about others being the ones to be picked to beat Trick Williams, I look at where Kaz has been over the last few years, and I'm like, man, if you're going to have a veteran from, the early days of TNA who's in the best shape of his life, put that title on him, seriously.
Yeah.
Because, he had that trophy he was dragging around for a while. He cashed it in unsuccessfully, but that doesn't mean that he can't still get that title someday. So, but that's me.
So there's a chance. There's a chance. But there's also a chance we did hear from Frankie.
You're saying there's a chance.
Tell you there's a chance. We got Frankie with Gia Miller ringside. She pulled a couple of ringside interviews as people were leaving today at Against All Odds. But Frankie doesn't give you much except for continue to go after Joe Hendry about his win because she kind of calls him out on it. He doesn't appreciate it. We go backstage. We get Robert Stone bribing special referee Matt Cardona that like he throws him like 500. Be like, hey, if you see Victoria or Tessa get involved, maybe look the other way. And then as Matthew Raywald says, hey, someone gives you money for free, you got to take it. But we'll see if he stays down the middle as he said he would.
And it's interesting. It's not just Robert Stone trying to bribe him. He's got Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard at his side, which I feel is very interesting.
That is.
So when you look at that, it's like, oh, we're talking about, women's tag teams. Well, shoot, if those two are hanging together and whether Robert Stone is in the picture or not, you got Victoria Crawford hanging around Tessa Blanchard. That's another women's tag team right there. So let's keep those numbers going.
All right. We get tag team action. The title's on the line. We get the Nemeths facing the Rascalz. And this was an interesting one, J-Mode.
Yeah.
Because back and forth, for sure. Rascalz were looking good early. Then the Nemeths kind of took over. But the ending, J-Bud, the ending of this one, the Nemeths get the win here.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say, I would say fairly clean. There's not too much going on there. But I know a lot of people have been bringing up in the chat. Pretty much it ends. And it was awkward how it ended. I don't know if there was an injury. But Nick hit Trey with the danger zone. Gets the 3. And then actually Ryan gets he gets the 3 on him.
Ryan he gets the pin because he puts another finisher on him.
Yeah, he puts his one with the Hollywood ending on. Then he was doing the he's a top.
I love that. It took me a while to figure out what they were chanting, and then I figured it out, and it was like, oh, that's a riot. That's an absolute riot. So that's Ryan Nemeth's revenge on the crowd, is he actually
got the pin.
To make the pin. Yeah.
So, but yeah, he so obviously you get Trey getting hit with both of those finishes. They get the win. Like Zach was still on the floor outside.
Yeah.
So he didn't play any result in the ending. But Trey takes a beeline after that 1, 2, 3 to the locker room. So not sure if it was, like I said, if it was an injury. I know people are saying that he no-sell it. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting Thursday.
I'll have to watch that back again. I saw Ryan get the pin, and they kind of zoomed in on him. I didn't notice that. I mean, you were there, so you would have seen him jet off if he took off. So maybe that's why they zoomed in on Ryan, because
I'll assume it had something. Hey, sometimes You just got to go take a piss.
Yeah.
You never know. Like there's like that could be a problem as well. So that I don't want to read too much into that, but I know some people are bringing that up.
Yeah.
But it did feel a little awkward.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. I mean, it's bodily functions happen, guys. It's life. It's.
But or like I said, it could be an injury. Something could be a little banged up or something. Because there were some close calls yesterday, but it seems like everything worked out. But we go backstage, and this is where we get EY banned from the building after attacking a fan last on Impact last Thursday. Then Sami Callihan enters the picture.
That was interesting.
Like they're all talking. Yeah, like kind of getting them together there about kind of the brand, like they got to be the guys to do something here. It feels like now, is that against each other or is that in unison? I'm not really sure. You never know what Sammy's talking. If he's talking as a friend or an enemy to some of these guys.
Well,
but I think we'll see more on Thursday.
And EY was like, he was saying some weird shit. Like
he was off his rocker. He was all over the place.
Completely unhinged. Looking at the security guys.
Yeah. Those security guys, man, they were earning their money.
I hope they got more than a hot dog and a handshake, Bill. Man.
All right, up next, we get the match for the Director of Authority. And it is first the special guest referee in his full ref gear, Matt Cardona. And then we got Santino Marella with Ariana Grace in her
cute shorts.
And and then we get Robert Stone with Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard in his. And this one, it's kind of what we thought it would be, J-Bo. It was entertaining, no doubt. But it was obviously early on, you had Tessa get the Cobra off of Santino when he pulled it out. And it wound up gone. It's like, oh no, the Cobra, which is legal, is now gone. You can't use it. Will Santino be able to do this? So you saw a lot of interference from the ladies. So it looked like the payoff from Robert Stone was going to work out for him because down the middle, Cardona wasn't really enforcing too much on them. But then as the match progressed, as Santino says, baby Ariana was seeing what was being allowed, and she got a little involved as we get towards the end here, and messed around with little Robert Stone. And the second Cobra comes out that she helped give to dear old dad, and he does get the win, and he is Director of Authority once again. But it was good. I know a lot of people, a lot of TNA fans, if Robert Stone took over control, we're not going to be happy with the brand. So it seems like everything worked out for the best there. Big win for Santino Marella to keep his job.
So does that mean that Robert Stone does that mean that Robert Stone is not going to be around anymore, and that just Ariana Grace is going to be around as far as being?
That's what I assume. Okay. That's what I assume. That now maybe he'll be the hometown manager going forward. I don't know. You never know in TNA, J-Bo. When you think people are gone, sometimes they don't leave.
Yeah.
So I'll believe it when I don't see them. But as long as Ariana sticks around, I'm a fan of the liaison. Robert Stone, you can hit the bricks. Bring back Jesse. That's all I got to say. Better half of the
bring back, bro.
Right.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Gio was trying to get an interview. Santino was just he was loving life. But we're here, J-Bone. Main event time, the big one. Elijah. Because in TNA, J-Bone, what do?
We walk this way. Yes.
That's right. We walk with Elijah.
I'll say this: Elijah looked as much as these two are different athletes. Elijah looked great in this match. At least I think he did.
I agree with you. I think them kind of entering them like, hey, let's put them in the main event here. See what happens, because obviously we've seen him in a lot of tag matches with the whole Joe Hendry friendship angle. But here, obviously, he gets Trick. I agree. I thought he gave a good match here. Looked good. Obviously, the big thing that happened during this match was AJ Francis showing up towards the ending of this match and definitely playing a role in Trick getting an advantage, almost a win, but definitely helping to get control of the match late, where then he does get after shenanigans, he gets the clean finish on him and the win. And then I don't know where it got cut off last night, but definitely I think Trick was embracing it because there was definitely Trick NA chance. It's an interesting line that they're not crossing, but crossing with Trick with this, and this is more of the WWE with him kind of turning heel or tweeter, whatever you want to call it, because a lot of his stuff, he's just in his mind telling the truth on what things are, and the fans can either cheer him or not. But I think he's winning more and more of that crowd over, and I think he's going to continue. I think it's going to increase. I think he's becoming more and more babyface as this is going on, which is just going to be interesting to see how everything kind of lines up, because we know we're heading to a rematch with Santana. I don't know if anything will come before that, but I think the TNA fan base is, I believe, I know there's going to be some stalwarts, especially after the Omega situation, that are going to call this, hey, it's an outsider against it regardless. But I think Trick is winning some fans over.
Yeah. I mean,
no, he had first class.
I will say, Bill, I do is I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love a good shakeup. And even though we don't have a TNA guy as champion, man, if you're going to pick a solid up-and-coming heel in another company to do it, Trick's good. Trick's got charisma. He's an amazing athlete. I'm digging it. I really am. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, and I think this is going to give Trick that rub that he needed. Like he was already over with that fan base, but we talked about this before. This goes back years in NXT. There's people that are super, super over in NXT, and then it doesn't work when they go to the main roster. And I think this is one of those things like Trick, super over. Let's test some things out, go some different directions, and try to build him up better for that eventual move to the main roster. And I think that's where you're getting here in TNA. It's let's kind of give him the mantle, the ball, and run with it. I think he's done a great job with it so far. So
it's only gonna prepare him for better things when he does eventually go to the main roster.
Yeah, and I think that's what this is all about, because I think they've realized that it's hey, we can develop to the NXT level very, very well, but I think they're our record is maybe 50-50 once they get to the main roster. So they got to be. I think the whole TNA partnership is part of that. It's like get a bigger swatch of a fan base involved and see how these people do there, just to see like, are we too in our own bubble and not really seeing either flaws or progression that maybe is or is not there. So once again, it works out for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it is a test to see how how well he does with this, and I think he's doing really well so far. He really is. He's knocking it out of the park. I can only assume that guys like Shawn Michaels and the rest of his crew are very proud of Trick Williams right now.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so that ends the show. Trick remains champion as we continue to head towards Slammiversary. But a lot coming up now for this Thursday on Impact. And after it ends, J-Bone, what will we be doing?
We'll
be reviewing it. So this Thursday, come back to the TNI show. And hopefully the whole crew will be here. And we'll be talking Against All Odds Fallout and the road.
There's definitely going to be some fallout, and I think I'm going to be around later tonight with my other crew, the Ramblers Unleashed. So it's a loaded,
double duty.
Well,
that's a lot of bone.
I'm going to try to watch part of Worlds Collide right now because there's some matches I got my eye on. Especially that one with Ethan Page, the Fatal 4-Way. And Laredo Kid's in that one.
TNA, baby.
And some other former TNA / AAA guys are in there too, like Aerostar and such. So, I
believe Octagon Jr. is also on the show.
He is. He is. Yeah.
TNA guy.
So good to see. Good to see. I mean, they're talking that they're representing AAA, but that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, no.
That's not. Yeah, this wasn't a TNA partner show. I think you will get more of that going forward. Right. But this technically was not. So, but once again, it just shows though partnerships, relationships. Working together, these things that you would not see in wrestling years ago.
Never.
It's a kind of a new world that we're in.
You don't see a lot of he didn't see a lot of territory versus territory. You saw people going from territory to territory, but you didn't see a lot of
it was infrequent at best. And when it happened, it was usually very obvious, like what the results would be when it did happen. So this is more of a shakeup. Which you like to say, the rest of the world
does. It really does. And some people are with it, some people ain't. But what are you gonna do? So I'll be with the Ramblers later tonight. We'll be covering Money in the Bank. That's very exciting. Usually a pretty good show. Not a lot on the card. I mean. Of course, you got the important ladder matches involved, but besides that, there's only 2 other matches. So we'll see. It could be a short show. They could add stuff. We'll see. But we'll be covering it later tonight. So go check out Ramblers Unleashed on the YouTube and on the Twitch, and check my socials later. We'll be plugging it.
All right. So but that's the end of the show tonight. Check out J-Bone and the Ramblers later. Check out what the UK crew of TNI thinks of Against All Odds on Wednesday. And then we'll be back to once again go over the fallout on Thursday. Thanks for this unique time that we went live today after a late night West Coast early morning show of TNA. But now we got more than one person doing it. So I thank Jay Bode for coming in on short rest on a day he's pulling double duty. And I know there's some people that I saw. Oh, I actually shout out to Ronan Blue, who I met at the show last night. And I know somebody else earlier said they were not able to say hi, but was also at the show. So any other locals that are going maybe to the tapings later, look forward to that. Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out this Thursday on Access TV and TNA Plus.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. Thanks. Good night, folks. See you later tonight. Take care.